We have logged in about 2 minutes early. So we would like to remind all of our friends on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to please type your comments and your questions. This live session is all about you guys, okay? We're here 5:30 every Monday. We're trying to be here 5:30 every Monday so we can help get your immigration questions answered. Last week we were very successful. We had about 6,000 people that logged in. We dealt with questions from all over the world. What I would say is go ahead and like and share. Hit that share button. If you don't hit that share button, then your other friends will not know that we're having this informative session. And if you hit the share button also, somebody may ask a question that may benefit you. So it's to everyone's benefit to hit share, okay? So I do see some questions coming in. First, let me say hi, good afternoon. I'm Immigration Attorney Gail Seeram. If you want to learn more about our practice, visit our website, GailLaw.com. That's GailLaw.com. We've been practicing law for 24 years, and we would like to, one of our missions is to inform our clients. I always tell my clients I want you to be an informed consumer, but we always like sharing information. If you notice, we are very prominent on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube videos for over 10 years. On our website, we have a news section. If you go to GailLaw.com and hit the news section, you will also find updates and articles and resources that we have posted. Even our homepage has a lot of helpful information. So I'm going to say hi to Charm, who has joined us, Leo Santos, Amit. So we like all of you guys just as you are liking our posts. But again, what we're asking you to do is share. A lot of people right now have finished their hectic Monday and they're on their way home listening to this session, hoping to get some helpful information. Maybe you have an immigration case pending. Maybe you have a friend or a family that has an immigration case pending. Please share this or call or text your friend. Be like, hey, go to TikTok at My U.S. Immigration Lawyer. Go to Facebook group My U.S. Immigration Lawyer. Go to YouTube at My U.S. Immigration Lawyer and tell them to join our session. Or you could take a picture of the flyer that you saw and go ahead and send it to your friend. We do see some questions coming in, but I want everyone to kind of give everybody an opportunity to log on. I will start answering some immigration questions. A great question coming from Marcos, U.S. citizen, wife's case is at the visa center. So this is U.S. citizen in the U.S., wife is outside the U.S. The case is at step 2, which is the visa center, and he got a new baby last week. How to start the process for the kids. Well, this depends on a lot of factors. Depending on you, Marcos, if you meet the requirements for your child to acquire U.S. citizenship directly through the child's birth abroad, then it's making an appointment or completing the process at the U.S. Embassy to recognize the child as a U.S. citizen, a child born abroad to a U.S. citizen. But again, that's if you meet the requirements. If you don't meet those requirements, and if you haven't contacted the U.S. Embassy to get a consular birth reported abroad or reporting a birth abroad of a U.S. citizen child, if you don't meet those requirements, then we will have to file for the child. So I would say step 1 is to contact the U.S. Embassy to see if you meet those requirements that the child automatically acquires citizenship through you. Best case scenario, if the child does automatically acquire child born abroad acquire citizenship through you, the U.S. citizen parent, then you have to follow the embassy instructions to register that child as a U.S. citizen. And at the end of the day, you get a U.S. birth certificate. If, however, the U.S. Embassy holds that child is not a U.S. citizen because you have not met certain requirements as a U.S. citizen parent, then you will have to file a separate petition for that child, okay? Marcos, because you have a prior filing, if you would like to have a consultation with our office, it will be $100. Any cases that have a prior filing, prior arrest, any kind of prior history, something that's not brand new, then it's $100 because it takes us a little bit more time to review the case history. But go to our website, marcosgailllaw.com. There's a blue button to book your appointment online. When you click that link, you can make that payment and set an appointment with us so we can further drill through to help you regarding that child. I get this question almost every week. How long does sibling sponsorship take? A U.S. citizen sponsoring a sibling abroad right now is about a 15-year wait, but it all depends on when you filed that petition. I could tell you exactly the visa bulletin for this month for September 2023 for sibling sponsorship, U.S. citizen filing for sibling. Immigration is currently working on April of 2007. So depending on when you file, just know immigration is working on April of 2007. So I hope that helps you out, Chris, Anna, and all the rest of our friends. Share, share, share. You are tuned in to Immigration Attorney Gail Seeram. If you want more information about our office, about me, about how to book an appointment with me, you could book that appointment online on your own by going to GailLaw.com. That's GailLaw.com. Anna, you have a friend who was deported like 20 years ago, but stayed in the country. Okay, so the person was order removed. Obviously, maybe the judge gave them a period of time to deport or leave the country and they never left. Then we would have to set a consultation because I would need to look at a few factors, and this would be a $100 consultation that you could book on your own by going to our website, GailLaw.com, clicking the blue button to book an appointment. We need to look at why this person was deported, what grounds were they deported, did the person have illegal entry, unlawful entry? You said there was a record. I also need to look at the criminal record, and then we can advise further what steps and options, if any, that person has, Anna. So please go ahead and set that appointment. If you are now joining us, we've started the session at 5:30, so you didn't miss too much. We are doing this immigration info session every Monday at 5:30 on our Facebook group, My U.S. Immigration Lawyer, on our TikTok, My U.S. Immigration Lawyer, and our YouTube, My U.S. Immigration Lawyer. So thank you all of our friends for joining us this busy Monday afternoon, as I'm sure you're trying to hurry home to your family. Okay, so F2B category, how long does that take? An F2B is an unmarried son and daughter over 21 of a permanent resident. So it's a permanent resident parent in the U.S. filing for an unmarried son or daughter outside the U.S. that's over 21. Right now, according to the September 2023 Visa Bulletin, immigration is working on September of 2015. So I hope that answers your question, SD. September of 2015 is what they're working on. So if you filed sometime in 2016, then immigration has about a year more. If you filed in 2020, then you have about another 5-year wait. Once you file your petition with immigration and the family-based petition is filed through a Form I-130 with supporting evidence, once the immigration receives that petition and you get a receipt notice, you're not going to hear anything else from immigration until the visa is close to being available. So about a year before the visa is close to being available, then you'll hear from the visa center. But until then, you're not going to hear anything. We get a lot of people who are frustrated and they call our office or email me and they say, oh, I haven't heard anything. Well, that's normal. You're not going to hear anything until that next step of your visa being close to being available, okay? Again, if you want to track visa availability or how fast or slow immigration is moving, immigration does publish a visa bulletin, and this is for family cases and employment cases. They do publish a visa bulletin every month. If you go to our website, GailLaw.com, and you scroll down our website, you will see we do post the most current visa bulletin, okay? Tina, thank you for the #1 gifter badge. I appreciate that. We still have a lot of friends still joining in, tuning in. We appreciate all the thumbs up. We appreciate all of the hearts. Please go ahead and on Facebook, if there's a comment section where you could write your comment. I'm also going to type on that section, ask questions here, so you can see that comment section if you are logged in to our Facebook. I see a lot of questions coming in on the TikTok. I'm sure if I see questions, I'm hoping I see questions when they pop up on YouTube, but I'll go ahead and continue with all the questions coming in on TikTok. And go ahead and share, guys. That's the greatest. Share, like, and share so other friends can see us and see the information and the great advice that you are getting this Monday afternoon. Going back to our TikTok, I'm waiting for my spouse interview at NVC for a long time. They send an email every 2 months. So I'm assuming that you're saying that your case at the Visa Center, you're waiting on an interview. If your case is at the Visa Center, you will not move to the next step of interview until the Visa Center documentally qualifies your case, meaning the Visa Center will put a message saying all documents have been accepted and approved and your case has been documentally qualified. If your case is not documentally qualified, then you will not move to the next step, which is the embassy interview. So make sure when you log in, you see all documents are accepted and approved and your case is documentary qualified. If you don't see that message, your case will not move to the Visa Center. Now, if you're saying you're getting an email, there is an email sometimes that the Visa Center sends saying your case is approved, but it has not been sent to the embassy yet. And that is because of the backlog at most of the embassies. And again, these are for cases that are processing outside of the United States, okay? So you have to just, if your case at the Visa Center has been accepted and approved and documentary qualified, and the Visa Center is just holding the case, if that's the email you're getting, then unfortunately there's nothing that you can do. You just have to wait for the file to be transferred to the embassy, and then the embassy will send you an email directly telling you the date and time for the appointment, and they will tell you next steps, which let's talk about when a case is at the embassy. When a case is at the embassy and you get that email, most embassies, you have to register with the embassy. Why do you have to register? We get a lot of clients that tell us, well, why can't you register? Why can't you use your email? No, the embassy wants to be in touch with you, the petitioner, you, the beneficiary. Because at the end of the day, they have to send you the documents abroad, meaning the passports. They want to coordinate with the beneficiary abroad. That's the purpose of registering with the embassy. So the beneficiary could communicate directly with the embassy, and the embassy could communicate directly with the embassy if there's any change in the case. So please, if you get an email from the embassy, register with the embassy, which is creating a username, password, logging in, and you'll have a message center where the embassy will be able to message you if they need you directly. Mohammed, hi, I see you in Boston, and I'm saying hi to you from Orlando, Florida. That is where our office is based. However, we do handle immigration cases all over the United States and internationally. I would say about half our clients are outside of the U.S. trying to come back into the U.S., and we have a lot of clients within the U.S., not just Florida, but we have clients all over the U.S. Immigration law is federal law, which means that you can use an attorney from any state, because at the end of the day, immigration is federal and it's processed at one service center. So everybody from all over the U.S., your cases all end up at the one service center. It doesn't matter where your attorney is, unless you're looking at local interviews and you want an attorney who's available locally for your interview, okay? Asylum cases with withholding, how long does it take? We are currently not handling asylum cases, and that's because of the very long backlog. It can take about 10 to 14 years to get an asylum case resolved, and unfortunately, that's the reason why we are not handling asylum cases. Canadian visiting for 2 months, stayed an extra month. married a U.S. citizen? Is that an overstay? Well, way to Jana, that depends, because a Canadian can visit for up to 6 months, okay? So, but if the officer only gave you 2 months to stay, which you could go online to check your I-94, but if the officer only gave you 2 months and you overstayed, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, even though you overstayed, there's no penalty to you for seeking adjustment of status through that marriage to that U.S. citizen. So I would advise you, if you haven't filed a petition yet, wait to Jana, go to our website, GailLaw.com, GailLaw.com, hit that blue button and book your appointment online. You seem to be qualified for a free consultation. We'd be more than happy to discuss with you all the steps that we can help you with. So there would be no penalty to you, and you would be able to get permanent residency through marriage to that U.S. citizen, okay? So go ahead and book that appointment online. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm scrolling up a lot of questions. How long does it take to get approved I-130 from the U.S.? Golden, it depends on who's filing that I-130. Who's filing for who? So if you could follow up, do I have is a U.S. citizen, spouse, brother, sister, parent, and who are they filing for? And is that person in the U.S. or outside of the U.S.? I just discovered a new feature on this TikTok. I just kind of did a swipe, and now I see all your questions much better. Okay, so maybe I will answer these questions better. Okay. Better to send medical with the I-45. Yes, I always say it's better to send the medical exam with the I-45. The medical exams are good for 2 years. You should get a decision within that 2-year period. If you get an officer that wants to approve you and they don't have the medical, it creates an extra step for them to then send you a request for evidence for that medical exam. So my advice to Crown Art Customs is to send that medical with the I-45. It will make your case approved faster, okay, if it is a provable case. What is the website for the visa bulletin? If you go to our website, which is GailLaw.com, that's GailLaw.com. If you go to our website and you scroll down, I'm trying to go to my website while I'm talking to you, so I'm giving you the correct information. So if you go to our website, GailLaw.com, and continue to share. Share to your Facebook friends, share to your YouTube friends, share to your TikTok friends. So if you go to, the question is about the visa bulletin. How do you access the visa bulletin? For our friend Brown, go to GailLaw.com, scroll down on our website, scroll past our 19 TV interviews, and right under dedicated 100% to immigration law, you'll see a link. It says Visa Bulletin, September 2023 Visa Bulletin. Click on that link, and you will see the September Visa Bulletin, okay? I went for an interview, but was missing a document. I sent the missing document. Fashion Fiesta. Is this interview at an embassy, or was this an interview in the United States? Please let me know, and please let me know if the document sent was you just dropped it off at the office, or there was a request for evidence, an actual cover sheet, and you sent it in with the cover sheet. Fashion Fiesta, please follow up with me on that. Whenever there's an interview and documents are requested locally or even at an interview, I do not suggest to just walk in and give the document to anyone, because there's no tracing and no proof that you submitted the documents. There's no tracking, I should say. And you always want to have some kind of tracking or receipt or signature confirmation the documents were received, because you don't know if the person you handed that document to is putting it in your file. And then immigration can say they didn't receive the document and deny your case. So anytime a document's requested, always send it by mail, UPS, FedEx, even U.S. Postal Service signature, the signature requirement with some kind of proof on your end that it was received by their end. This is U.S. immigration. There's mass amount of documents and mails that they receive on a given basis. You need to cover yourself and make sure there's proof that you submitted those documents, okay? They told me the visa number is not available. What's next? Okay, Fashion Fiesta, again, was that interview in the US or outside the US, okay? And when you're telling me the visa is not available, now I need to know who is the petitioner. Is the petitioner a US citizen, a permanent resident, spouse, what type of family member, and how are you related to that person for me to let you know about that visa availability? Because there's like 6 visa categories and a lot of the visas are not available right now. And why our visa is not available right now, a lot of that is due, we're at the end, we're in the last week pretty much of immigration's fiscal year. Immigration is not on a January to December year, they're on a fiscal year. So they're on October 1st to September 30th. So this week is the last week of the fiscal year. Next week we'll start the new fiscal year, which means that new visas will be reset, meaning they have a new amount of visas to reissue. Okay. So what is our consultation fee? Ms. Bailey, our consultations are free except if you have a prior filing, an arrest, a prior removal, deportation, any kind of prior filing, prior case. It's $100. Otherwise, if you're brand new to immigration, never filed anything, then it's a free consultation. I invite you to go to our website, GailLaw.com, GailLaw.com, and hit that blue button, book appointment online. How long does it take for a permanent resident to sponsor his or her spouse? Up until a couple of months ago, this was current, okay? Which means there was no wait time for visas. But there was just processing time, which was about 1 to 2 years. However, because we came towards the end of the fiscal year, and for that particular category, immigration was running out of visas, the visas for spouse of a permanent resident retrogressed, okay? What does retrogressed means? It's a fancy word to let you know that immigration went backwards. So right now, for spouse of a permanent resident, they're working on issuing visas for cases filed on or before January 2018. So it went back 5 years. But that may change next week when a new set of visas will become available because of the new year that immigration will start. And we may see some movement forward from that January 2018 date. Okay. Hope that answers your question, SD. What USCIS will do? Days. I'm like sluggish and late. 221G is a standard kind of, we need to take administrative review. We need to take a look at your case and we'll go from there. If you have further questions, you want me to take a look at that notice, again, go to our website, GailLaw.com, hit that blue button. Since you do have a prior filing, you have to pay that $100. And we will be glad to take a look, evaluate your case, offer you best options moving forward, and maybe break down to you what's really going on. What I find is a lot of people think immigration is just a matter of filling out a form, and it is not. Immigration is based on very complex set of federal laws. So a lot of times people file and they find themselves getting stuck. That's okay. We're here to help you, guide you, hold your hand. Go to our website, GailLaw.com, hit the blue button. If it's a prior filing, you have to pay $100, and you can take pictures, upload your documents, and then we'll discuss it during our consultation, okay? I'm going to go back to SOS. Why do they bring more immigrants in New York? I can't help the people who've been here. Okay, well, that's a good question. That's an issue that a lot of New Yorkers and I think people from all over the U.S. are facing, and no one's bringing anyone here. People that are showing up to the southern border are showing up, whether legally or illegally, but they're making a legal claim for asylum. Asylum law is in the Immigration and Nationality Act. So until Congress, Senate, the House of Representatives propose a bill and the president signs a bill taking asylum completely out of our immigration laws, people will continue to show up to the border and claim asylum. People can just enter the U.S. even with a tourist visa, and it happens, and they claim asylum. When you claim asylum, you're saying you fear returning back to your country, you fear persecution, and you're entitled to a day in court. So a lot of people who question why people are coming here claiming asylum, Maybe you need to, contact their representatives, their local representatives, House representative, contact their senators and express frustration with the asylum laws, because the asylum laws are what are allowing people to stay in the U.S. And as I mentioned, a lot of these court cases, asylum, are taking 10 to 14 years, and they're entitled to remain here until their claim is heard. Okay. Golden, how long does it take to get an I-130 approved? I need to know who's filing for who, and I'll be more than happy to answer that question. Can I apply for citizenship after green card by VAWA? Yes, you can. We're more than happy to evaluate your case for citizenship. Since you already have a green card and this is just for citizenship, it's a free consultation. So go to our website, GailLaw.com, GailLaw.com, hit the blue button and set your consultation for citizenship, so we can make sure you meet all the requirements. It doesn't matter if you apply for VAWA, you can still apply for citizenship on your own if you meet the 5-year continuous residency requirement and some other factors. Okay, withdrew my asylum after VAWA, green card got approved, waiting to travel to my country. Any problem? It depends. There was an asylum case. I don't like telling people to travel back to their native country after they made a claim for asylum, because an officer or an immigration could still come back and say that you made a frivolous claim for asylum, or a fraudulent claim for asylum, meaning you lied, because remember, that asylum was an actual application. And when you sign off on that application, before you signed, you said, I certify that all statements, I'm paraphrasing here, but I certified all statements are true and correct, and then you sign. So if you really feared going back to your country per why you did an asylum application, an officer can question, well, why are you going back to your country when you told us you feared going back to your country? So that's a 50-50 chance that you're taking. I advise normally on the conservative side, and no, you should not return back to a country that you claimed asylum, or that you claimed you fear going back to, hence your asylum application. Okay. Good evening, Saucy. Nice to see that you joined us this evening. And I see we have some more and more people joining us. And again, hit that share button so we can let other friends know that we're going live here. I'm going to go to Facebook for a little bit. No, we are not hiring, Genesis. I'm a business owner. I currently owe taxes, but I'm on payment plan. Will owe in taxes. Payment plan. Okay, so if you owe taxes, this question is for citizenship. The person owes taxes. Their immigration provides a list of items that they could look at to determine if you have good moral character. One of the items where immigration can say that you lack good moral character is if you owe taxes. So I would recommend to pay off all taxes, even if you are on a payment plan, before applying for citizenship, because even if you're on a payment plan, depending on how much you owe, it can show that you lack good moral character. So my advice is to pay the taxes and have a zero balance before you apply for citizenship. Okay. Do you have an invitation letter? Okay, so invitation letters, they don't necessarily look at that anymore. That was when you're applying for a tourist visa to visit the United States, normally you would have to present an invitation letter. The embassies right now are really considering what are your ties to your native country, who you're going to visit. I've heard about people taking invitation letters and the embassy not even looking at it. So that's not a deciding factor, because on your non-immigrant visa application or your tourist visa application, you have to list who you plan to visit, how long you plan to spend, and so forth. So if you have an invitation letter, which is from whoever, family member, friend, inviting you to stay with them for a period of time in the U.S., sure, you could bring the letter, but it's not the deciding factor, because I've seen people take invitation letters and still get denied and still be asked for financial records and employment records to show your strong ties to your native country. So I think employment records and deed to show you own property in your country, and things that show that you have intents to return back to your native country. That's really what the embassy wants to see, okay? U.S. citizen wife, husband in the DR. Around when would we get interview? So a U.S. citizen wife sponsoring husband in DR. I'm assuming the petition was filed. I don't understand. Maybe. I'm assuming it was filed last month. If you just filed last month, then you're looking at, it's a 1 year wait, 3 steps. Okay. So if you just filed, you're looking at a 1 year wait. Okay. Lost my place on the questions. I am going back to where I was. Okay. Hi, Veronica. Filing for mother and sibling. Okay. What's the best way to go about filing for mother and sibling? Those are 2 different categories, just so you know. A U.S. citizen filing for a mother is an immediate relative. That's a 1 year process. However, filing for sibling is a 15-year process. The 2 petitions don't get combined. So we can talk about this. There's a strategy, a way to do this. Please go to our website, GailLaw.com. Hit the blue button so you can make an appointment for a free consultation so we can discuss that question, okay? Okay, mother and sibling, because normally we'll probably have to file for the parent and then have the parent turn around and file for the sibling. It might be faster that way. How long does an appeal process take after removal order? If your case is still in court, then your best bet is to speak to your attorney who filed that appeal for them to tell you how long that appeal is taken. But appeals can take a couple of years based on my experience. Patra, married to a U.S. citizen that wasn't born here after using 3-year rule, I would have to wait the 5 years. Okay. If you're filing for U.S. citizenship, I encourage you to set a free consultation with our office. If you have not filed that citizenship application yet, go to our website, GailLaw.com, and set that free consultation. Because I think you're misunderstanding the 3 and 5 year rule. That's based on your residency here in the U.S. If you were married and living with a U.S. citizen for 3 years, then you may be eligible for citizenship based on 3 years of residency in the U.S. Okay, if you're trying to file for citizenship and not looking at your marriage to your U.S. citizen relative, then you have U.S. citizen spouse, then you have to wait the 5 years continuous physical presence in the U.S. But we can drill through that during a free consultation. Okay, Patra? So go to our website, hit the blue button, and make your appointment for a free consultation. How long does it take to get your green card? Share this with your friends. We are going to stay on for only maybe 10 more minutes, guys. And then we'll have to wait till next week, Monday, for the rest of these questions. What is the best way to go about filing for mother and sibling? We did that. I'm a U.S. citizen. Filed petition for my daughter who is 34. If you file a petition for your daughter that's 34, is the daughter married or unmarried? I'll give you both dates, Amy. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you file for your daughter that's unmarried, immigration is working on January 2015. If your daughter is married, they're working on January 2009, okay? And so you need to go back and look at your I-130 receipt notice and look at your priority date. That's your number in line. But again, a U.S. citizen filing for an unmarried adult child, they're working on issuing visas for January 2015. U.S. citizen filing for a married child, they're working on January 2009. Can I travel with my green card extension letter? So you renewed your green card. I can't believe it, but yes, these green card renewals are taking 2 years because that's how long that receipt notice is saying, 2 years. So if you're trying to renew your green card, you really need to think about citizenship, Gloria. So 2 years is a long time to wait. If you're eligible for citizenship, I would file for citizenship. We'd be more than happy to do a free consultation with you, Gloria, to see if you're eligible for citizenship. But the answer is yes, you can travel with that receipt, the I-90 receipt, which extends your green card. So when traveling, you want to travel with a valid passport, the expired green card, and the I-90 receipt notice, okay? And yes, that when you leave the country, nobody checks you. It's when you're coming back in the country. So when you're coming back in the country, Gloria, just be prepared that they may pull you aside for secondary inspection. What is secondary inspection? That's when they pull you over in a room and an officer talks to you because they just want to verify that you really have a petition pending. So when you come back in the U.S., you may be pulled off the regular inspection line into a room just so they can verify that you have that green card application pending, okay? What about my family's I-130? It's been approved at the Visa Center. It's 1 year. Okay, well, it depends on who's filing for who, Shaw, to know if your file is at the Visa Center. But normally when your file is at the Visa Center, you do get an email. So if it's been a year, only if you were a U.S. citizen filing for a spouse or a U.S. citizen filing for a parent or a U.S. citizen filing for a child under 21, would your file be at the Visa Center within a year. A lot of the other cases, if your case is pending per the category 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, then you will have to wait for the file to get to the Visa Center, okay? If you have a prior I-130 that's already been filed, you want us to take a look at it so we can kind of explain to you the process, explain how long it's going to take, then that consultation is $100. We would be more than happy to have that consultation. Go to our website, GailLaw.com, hit the blue button, and when you hit that blue button, you'll be instructed to make the payment, upload your ID, and upload the I-130 receipt or approval notice. I have one question. Okay, go ahead and ask it, Babby. I'm a U.S. citizen. I filed a petition for my daughter who's 34. Okay, we went through that question already. Hague Agency for Adoption from Jamaica. Yes, we are not handling adoptions. You have to do the adoptions through these adoption agencies because it has to be done according to the Hague Treaty, okay? How long does it take to apply for a parent of a U.S. citizen? If that parent is here in the U.S. or if the parent is outside of the U.S., it's a 1-year process, okay? And that's coming from an anonymous user 44228. Please go ahead. We'd be more than happy to set a consultation to go through that process to help you with that process for filing for your parent. Go to our website, GailLaw.com, GailLaw.com, hit the blue button and set your consultation, okay? Jack, I'm going to say hi to some friends. Sally, thank you for sharing this live. What's the priority date for your sister who was approved on 2010? Vinod, you're now looking at the approved date. You need to look at the priority date or the receive date. That's your number in line, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, for brother, sister, they are working on, or visas are being issued for petitions filed April 2007. So you need to go back and look at that I-130 receipt notice and look at the priority date, not the approval date, the priority date, and see how close that date is to April 2007, because that's what they're working on right now. Husband was documentary qualified, June 2022, waiting for interview. Well, we're seeing a lot of this. I did mention if your case at the Visa Center and it's documentary qualified, you're finished with processing at the Visa Center, but they're waiting on an interview at that embassy. If you have some situation where you feel you need to expedite your case or get your case to the embassy, then you need to contact that embassy directly through email and mention your case number and do a request to see if that embassy can expedite your interview. If they do agree to do so, then they will request your file from the Visa Center. But until the embassy is ready to process your case, there's nothing that the Visa Center could do to get your case to the embassy faster. So I would suggest to contact the embassy. Otherwise, you just have to wait. We are seeing some delays at some embassies still, okay? What is the best way to go about? Okay, what's going to be? Okay, I have posted my comments. Okay. Okay, so this, if you're tuning in now, we see we have a lot more friends that have joined. You are in a live session with Immigration Attorney Gail Law. We have our every Monday at 5:30. We're trying to give you the community immigration info. Info means immigration news for our community. Every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are here to answer your questions. We're still going through some questions. We will probably be ending the session soon, but I encourage you all to go to our website, GailLaw.com, if you would like a consultation on a pending case or a new case, or just want to sign up for immigration to look at immigration news. We can help you with our 24 years of immigration experience. Hello to our Jamaican friend, Sarah Whiskey. Seeing you're a proud Jamaican there. I-601s, they are taking, I have some I-601s going on 2 years right now, Selena, so I wish I had better news for you. Priority date for sister, brother, sister, again, it's not when it was approved, it's when it was filed. Okay, how file to fiance, how long? Fiance petitions are discretionary, they can take a while. High rate of denial with fiance visas. So you don't have a right to a fiance visa as non-immigrant. If you're unsuccessful with your fiance visa, then I would advise to marry and seek a marriage-based filing. My husband is not a legal resident. We want to divorce. What would happen? If you are filing for that husband and you divorce, then he becomes ineligible for the residency based on marriage to you because you guys are no longer married, okay? Administrative processing, that's a way of saying that they are still reviewing your case. They can take as long as they want for administrative processing. How long does it take to sponsor someone from Ethiopia? It depends on, Manny, who you're filing for. Please talk about fiance visa and to avoid a denial. There's no way to necessarily avoid a denial for a fiance visa because a fiance visa is non-immigrant, meaning you don't have a right to it. And when an officer gets your case at the embassy, it's by officer discretion, meaning it's how that officer feels, how that officer is viewing the factors in the relationship, whether there's an age difference, whether there's a race difference, whether there's a lot of prior filings. The officer can consider multiple facts and circumstances in reaching a decision. Fiance visas historically have had a very high rate of denial because, again, it's discretionary. It's non-immigrant. It's just like a tourist visa, student visa. We all know those visas also have a high rate of denial. So fiance visas are in that same bucket. So for that reason, it has a high rate of denial. So if it is denied, then know that you can always marry the person and file a marriage-based filing, okay? Okay, guys. Oh, okay. I was deported for attempted murder. Will I be approved? Well, the first step for anyone who's been deported is to look at your deportation record. Anyone who's been deported, they get a letter stating how long they have to wait outside the country before they can reapply for admission. You need to look at that letter, whether that's a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, or a lifetime ban. So you need to look at what is your particular ban before you move on to the next step of, will I be approved for admission? Anyone who's been deported from the United States does need permission to re-enter. We have 2 more minutes, guys. This session is going to end in 2 minutes at 6:15. We appreciate everyone that has tuned in today. We are doing these immigration info live sessions every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook group page, My U.S. Immigration Lawyer, on our TikTok at My U.S. Immigration Lawyer, and our YouTube at My U.S. Immigration Lawyer. Or get all these links by going to our website, GailLaw.com, GailLaw.com, I-94, no record found, but you have a stamp. Then you need to contact, I've been hearing a lot about this, because when you enter the U.S., they're not stamping your passport anymore. They're telling you to go online and pull your digital record. Well, the best thing what you have to do is contact CBP for where you entered. If you entered Miami, contact Miami Custom and Border Protection. If you entered JFK, contact Queens, New York, Custom and Border Protection. You contact that office and tell them that you went online and there's no record of your entry, and they will take care of you. You might have to go to the office, but they'll be able to get you proof of your entry. Okay. DACA recipients, there was a court case in Texas, and DACA is still under review in the courts. No new DACA applications are being accepted, but renewals are being accepted. The legality of DACA is still being questioned in the federal court. 1 more minute left. I'm going to try to get as many questions in this last minute. Can you marry someone on a green card? If yes. Yes, you can marry on a green card. However, that person has to process from outside the United States. The only people who can adjust status in the U.S. family-based, if they have overstayed, is spouse of a U.S. citizen, parent of a U.S. citizen, child under 21 of a U.S. citizen. Emergency advance parole. If you have a petition pending and there's an emergency and you need to travel, you can make an appointment. Immigration now has a new system where you can make an appointment to go in, and they will evaluate if you meet the requirements for an emergency advance parole. That's for my official J Lens. You can go to our website, GailLaw.com. If you go to our website, GailLaw.com, scroll all the way down below the TV interviews, and I have a link. It says in-person appointments with USCIS, online form to request in-person appointment on our website, GailLaw.com. Click that form, and you would be able to be led through the steps to get the emergency advance parole. U.S. citizen filing for a spouse, 1 year processing time. Make sure you use an attorney when you are a U.S. citizen filing for a spouse. And with that, I will say see you next Monday at 5:30. Thank you to all my friends on Facebook, on our group page, My U.S. Immigration Lawyer, on our TikTok, and our YouTube. It was a pleasure this Monday. See you guys next Monday for Immigration Info at 5:30. See you next Monday, guys. It was a pleasure today to join with you and answer your questions here this afternoon. My pleasure.